Matt and I are going to be talking about ways to build your credit, what banks are looking for. Now, it may sound like a pretty easy subject, right? But you know what, Matt, I'm sure you'd agree with this. Banks are still a lot more stringent than they were back in the day when you could write contracts on napkins. And it's important to have all of your ducks in a row, sometimes a couple months before you're even ready to go. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yes. I mean, everybody's got skeletons in their closet about, and when it comes to their financial portfolio. A lot of people don't really learn these things until they make the mistakes, and then they recover for them. I mean, just like anything, like riding a bike, the only way you learn is if you fall off and you learn not to do that again.
Now, buying your first home can be pretty scary anyways. The worst thing is when you're like, yeah, I'm gonna get a house, this and that. You're all excited. You've already, started looking at houses, which is not what you do first, but we'll get back to that after. And you found the house you love, but you're not pre-approved for that mortgage yet. And then you go getting pre-approved, and all of a sudden, Matt's like, hey, here's some skeletons we've got to get taken care of. So, Matt, wouldn't you agree that somebody should probably look into doing a mortgage pre-approval a few months before they even think about purchasing?
Yes. I mean, it doesn't matter if you have credit issues or not. I mean, you really want to sit down and talk about the budget, what you're looking into, create a focal point about where because you could be qualified for $500,000 house, but like, do you want to have that mortgage bill every month? So, sit down and talk about that. And the credit part of it, sometimes with people that don't have A+ credit, because the percentage of people that have A+ credit is probably slim. It's the smaller percentage. You know what I mean? That not everybody's got it. The majority has something that they can work on with their credit report. And with our systems, being 2017 and how new age we are, sometimes you come in, the fix is quick, to get you where you need to be, so you can get a better interest rate. I mean, the mortgage rates are priced out according to the risk factor of the buyer, and when the buyer has a lower credit score, the risk goes up. So the bank is going to categorize that as a reason to have a higher rate.
So Matt, what is considered what's the lowest rate what's the lowest credit score that you're able to get somebody a mortgage at?
620 is the average that is the average minimum that we got to go down, and then in certain circumstances we can go down to 580. I mean, on the board and on the grand scope of things, nobody should be down there. I mean, nobody. No. We get those. That's the minimum that we're allowed to go down to. But I always tell people that you don't want to be in a position where you have to go to one lender in order to get financing. You want to be in a position where you can go to all lenders and pick from all of them and all the opportunities. So getting pre-approved might not just be, finding out a budget and getting all your homework done. It's also going in and seeing what you can do to improve your credit score as you shop for a house. So most of the time, it's just minor things that you could do, and to figure that out beforehand. So that way, when you do go to lock in your interest rate, you've already made your improvements, and it's an easy transition into, maybe cutting down the interest rate, taking advantage of a much lower. I mean, when you go from a 740 and higher is where the A+ range comes in. Anybody 740 and higher is like, has very, very good credit. And then you go down to 720 to 740. Then you go into 680 to 720, and then you go from 640 to 680. That's the lower tier, and now you're into the F range. So if we can build you from a D, F, 640, 660, and get you up above 680 or above 700, all of a sudden we shaved you a quarter point off your interest rate just by making the improvements that you need to know. And some people can make those improvements, they just don't know how to do it. And we can do that for you through the pre-approval stage.
here's the question that I'm sure a lot of people have is, what are things that you should not be doing before you're ready to get a mortgage pre-approval?
You should not be doing anything with your credit report besides paying down debt. You do not want to increase your debts at all. Zero. People go out and do, they open up Home Depot cards for projected home improvement projects. They go and buy furniture for their new house, and they open up a line of credit with a furniture company, and all of that is not good. You stick to one goal. The goal is to buy a house. So let's buy a house, and then go do what you need to do. Don't try to achieve too many goals at once, and definitely don't let anybody pull your credit or set up a payment plan for you without running it by your loan officer first before you give any information up, because it could really jeopardize the deal, and when that happens, it is not fun.
How do they start the process? How do they make sure that they're getting the best rate, that they're doing all the best things and getting their ducks in a row?
Well, traditionally, even if you're not trying to buy a house, but you're just trying to work on your credit score, so that you could potentially buy a house in the short-coming future. So all of your revolving debt, if you have a $12,000 limit on your credit card, you want to have your revolving balance at the end of the month be below $4,000, under 33% of whatever the limit is. If you do that, you're looking at it, you categorize yourself as a low-risk buyer or customer. On the other hand, installment debt, if you're going to have any debt at all, is pretty good. You have fixed payments, and then at the end of the term, you've paid it in full. So you can budget nicely with an installment debt. Installment debts, examples of installment debts are car loans, student loans, mortgage payments. Furniture, for instance, I personally when I bought my house, I went to Cardi's and got a new bedroom set and living room set, and 0% interest, but it was over the course of 5 years, and it's the same amount every single month. So it's easy to budget properly per month, knowing what that payment's going to happen no matter what. And then sometimes if you come across a good month, you can make extra payments and get that the completion of the term happen sooner. You can speed up the payoff date. So installment debt really helps out the credit report. Revolving debt, not so much. Revolving debt's tough to control if you're going to charge a lot on your credit card. So I would suggest everybody to focus on revolving debt, getting them low, paying them down to under 33%, if not to zero, and you put yourself in a very good position with your credit report.